in the world? I got sniped already. Oh, watch your back. Oh, right here. Right here, I got a guy down. There you go. Thank you. Oh, snakes. Help, I'm down. Oh. Yeah, too late. I'm dead. Whoa! Oh man, I'm down. Right here. Thank you. Ooh. Sniper. Whatever, dude. Get him, Tony. What? Whatever. Yeah. Somebody's cranky. Ah, come on. What the? Oh, come on. Hey, no dying. What? Oh. Stop! J Turtle, no! Ah! Come on. Wow. Uh-oh. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, well, it usually happens either. Yeah, hold on. Where's me? There you go. Oh. Never mind. Who, me? Yeah, no, I did see that, but that wasn't my person. But I think the people that I invited aren't coming. Because I just invited a couple of people. And I was like, well, whoever comes first. Mm-mm. You can go ahead. That's cool. Uh-oh. Yeah, quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you check out the video or no? Oh, Tony's gone. Oh. I'm already down. Oh, watch your side. Yeah. Yeah, I should just try to go back, I guess. Holy crap. This isn't looking good so far. Coming by you. Yeah, there's a guy who should be hurt. Right, yeah, there you go. Oh, it's down here with me. Right here. Shoot. I got him. Oh, he's gone. Oh. Shoot. Hey, what's up? Oh, all right. Yada was just in here, but he's going to try to like look at the video. Hey, there he is. He's back now. And Seago is playing right now, but he won't. Okay. I wouldn't think you would be able to unless he's that good, I guess. I just gave up on you last night, fam, where I assumed you weren't getting on. Then I like my app, it always is weird where like some messages it'll give me notifications about, and then like other messages I feel like it doesn't tell me about. Like the audio. Yeah, like yeah, like no, but for real, like I saw that you joined and I tried to like talk to you and I couldn't hear you. So I don't know what was going on because I was like I basically had quit, but you know I did try to like join up, but I couldn't hear anything from you. So yep. Oh my goodness. One of those people, huh? So she doesn't drive because of that car accident that she was in, or she's like unable to drive, or she doesn't want to drive because it freaks her out. What meant? Oh, autistic. I didn't hear that. Okay. Well. Right? Yeah, well, those people are already on the road, you know, what's one more? In an accident before, I don't know if it's like what the nature is of like serious. That never sent me to the hospital, but it doesn't mean that somebody else didn't go. Well, basically, again, that's kind of why it's like a hairy like situation where normally I don't think somebody would have gone to the hospital. But anyway, what happened was we were driving kind of like on a country road, and the roads were a little. It was winter. The roads, I guess, some of the roads were slick, but I thought they were fine, you know, initially, but then like kind of a turn came up on me a little quicker than I noticed. Then when I slowed down to turn, it was slick, and then instead of like turning, I just kind of kept going straight where there was no road. You know, into like into a field. And then the field was well, like the field was really slick. And so then, like, I couldn't slow down, and I just kind of, like, continued to glide until we, like, went into a ditch. And then the ditch made it, like, when we kind of hit into the ditch, something flew up and hit my, kind of, like, oh, I think it's going to kick me out.
But what that guy said, I know him very, wait, what's the word? I kind of know him. So, I think that's why he was joining in on the conversation.
Yeah, well, I just kind of found him annoying. Anyway, so what I was saying is then, you know, when we hit the ditch to, like, that finally, you know, because we couldn't, basically just kept going, didn't slow down, hit into the ditch. I think normally everybody would have been fine, but one of my daughters had, like, a big, like, plastic horse, which was a terrible idea to have in a car, by the way. Don't do it. And it, like, flew up and, like horse.
Like a workbench horse, or like a toy horse?
No, a toy horse. But it was, like, really large. And I think it flew up and hit her in the face, and she has glasses, and the glasses, like, hit into her face and, like, cut her face.
So stupid. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think normally it wouldn't have been an issue, but since that, like, culmination of things, and the edge of the glasses, like, pushing into her face, it's, like, sliced her face a little bit. That's why she went to the hospital. So.
Oh, wow.
I got kicked out, by the way.
Of the game?
Yeah.
Oh, for making the party. Okay, I'm gonna back out. My first serious car accident was actually not that long ago.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
I fell asleep and just, you know. Well, actually, my husband thinks I fainted because I don't remember any of it until I woke up. But yeah, then I veered off the road and totaled my car.
Oh no, it's no good. Now, if you fainted, why would that be?
Honestly, I go back and forth about. I'm in with you, by the way, in your party.
Yeah, I was just trying to invite a couple other people and then go from there.
Oh,
I don't think anybody's coming.
Take your time. Oh, I've got somebody. Maybe. Maybe. I think that it might have been a spiritual attack, and the story is so weird. I don't know if anybody would ever believe me, but.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, so that week I had been doing some reading about like different spirits that, like, and what they try to accomplish, and one of them was a Leviathan spirit, and basically, like, first, the Leviathan spirit basically makes you feel sleepy whenever you're trying to spend time with the Lord, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was like, oh, that's so, like, that was the first time I'd ever really learned about it. So I was like, that's so weird, because every time I go to church, I'm like, I swear I want to learn. I swear I want to be present, but I'm just like so out of it, like falling asleep. And so I was like, maybe this is something that I actually am like struggling against. I didn't even know it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and like that sort of thing happened like a lot. Like I would feel sleepy if I was like reading the Bible, or if anything else. Like maybe I was just calm because I'm thinking about the word of the Lord. Anyhow, so I was coming home from work. It was like 6 o'clock at night. I was not tired. I and like it was just very odd. But I was driving home and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this time to pray. Um, and so I was praying, and all of a sudden I felt so sleepy, and I was like, Lord, if this is really like a spirit trying to take me away from time with you, I pray that you just cast it out in Jesus' name. And I like felt like a burst of energy, and I literally was like praising the Lord. And then I woke up in a field. So actually, like I had actually fallen asleep.
Mm-hmm.
so,
Mm.
so
Interesting.
it's super weird and dicey. My husband thinks I fainted and that was all like a dream, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was real. Because I remember the last portion of the road I was driving on
Mm-hmm.
pretty distinctly. Like it seemed too real to be a dream.
Right. Gotcha. I was just gonna say I'm sleepy all the time.
Fair enough.
But like, I mean, I guess in fairness, meaning like not too much on the road. Although if I get on the highway, that sometimes I can get sleepy, but I can pretty much overcome it. Never like a problem like where I feel like it's dangerous. More like just like I need to turn on. I usually turn on like some sort of like listen to a podcast or something, somebody talking,
Mm-hmm.
or if
Mm-hmm.
even like the ultimate thing to listen to is if you can listen to like a comedy album or comedy special that you can't laugh and fall asleep at the same time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's the best thing to keep you awake. But then also if you have something that's like a talk something that you know if it's really interesting to you, that may help keep you awake. Whereas music, if it's like a little bit too soothing, then that can
Yeah.
be sleep inducing.
I prefer talking to people when I'm driving, because like it's just so mundane, but I actually do think it helps like keep my mind alert as well.
Yeah, well, definitely if you're feeling sleepy and like you're on the highway, yeah, talking to somebody would be the best thing you could do for sure. Or I guess like apart from like talking and then listening to something that you found funny are basically on the same par. But I would assume I'm talking about it if you were by yourself and you're not talking on the phone. That's the best thing you could
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because like you know how radio stations a lot of times like in the morning they'll have like a lot of talk radio type stuff or like a lot of morning type show stuff where people are doing a lot of talking instead of like playing music.
Sure.
That
Uh,
I find it really annoying because that's like the time where I'm super like
can you join up with my friends? I'm sorry, they just invited me. Yeah, it's two of
what,
them.
you want to drop out of this match?
A little bit. You know how people don't wait for anybody, and then it never ends up working out.
Oh, we just started this one.
Okay,
I
fine.
got kicked out of the one. Let's just finish this one, then we'll
No,
join
it's
out.
fine.
Okay,
If it works out, it works out then.
we'll see. Yeah. All I was saying is like I find those super annoying because in the morning time I'm kind of grumpy and I'm like I don't want people to talk to me and like radio talking makes me think of people talking to me. I'm not a morning person.
I put so many bullets in that guy. How did he survive that?
Ah! Stupid screenwriter Dave.
homie. Let's stick together. I'll follow you, I guess.
Alright. We gotta try to, maybe we should see if we can stick together with one of those other guys too and just try to tear up.
Okay.
'Cause whatever we're doing right now sure ain't working.
Okay.
There's two
Behind
down there
us.
at least. Watch the edge.
I saw somebody, but then he disappeared.
Mm.
Back this way, homie.
There were two over there on the left side. I think they've gone a little further up. Oh, see, there's still one right there. Oh! Oh, dang.
Oh, behind us.
Yeah. Dang. Too late for me.
Ooh, so many.
Oh my word. This is not working.
There's one guy down right in front. Oh,
Yeah.
he's
That was...
Oh no. Homie, there's two people down in front of you.
I got one. He's moved. Oh! Oh, shoot. Oh, they're reviving him on the right side.
I ran away.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for my mind to reload. Maybe we should camp out here. This is a good place to gain back points.
Okay.
Here they are. Here's one.
Oh,
Here's the hunter.
where's the hunter? Uh-oh. Somebody didn't make it. Dag. Run.
Revive the guy behind you. I think the problem here is my aim hasn't been calibrated, so I'm like shooting just their feet basically.
What do you mean it hasn't been calibrated? Yeah, that was nice. Woo! Hmm. I ran out of bullets. Well, definitely not gonna win this one, but we'll We had fun, right?
It's good practice for the next one.
Yeah, right. Something like that. I'm down. Oh. Dude, it was crazy. Like, the last night we played 1 or 2 games against, I'm pretty sure it was the same people. And we just, like, destroyed them. And then the next game, they, like, destroyed us because they just, like, camped hardcore. And it was super annoying. Like, I don't know if they were cheating or something, but they were, like, also just, like, camping and not coming out, so we were going looking for them, and they were, like, picking us off. It was super weird. I was like, how could there be such, like, a drastic change? That was awful. Absolutely horrid.
Not worried about it. Oh, we've played against a lot of these people on their team.
Yeah, screenwriter Dave we play against all the time. And
Yeah.
that bubble gum guy, probably. Alright, you trying to get your friends in now?
Nope, because they're in the game and they probably won't join.
Let's see if we can get stupid sea goat to get in here. I keep on trying to invite him and he keeps on not wanting to come. But now it says he's in a lobby, so.
Yeah, but he's got 5 people on his team.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Burger was on earlier too, and I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, it says he's online, but...
Yeah. Oh well.
So for Father's Day, I got my husband some new shoes, right? And I gifted one of them on Father's Day, and then the other pair hadn't arrived yet. So I just got them today. And I opened the box, and it was like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, they're like, I don't know, little boy shoes, like something a teenager would wear, and it was so funny. So, like, I put them on his desk, and I was like, I just wanted to surprise you with something, like, and his face when he opened it, because they're so not his style. It was so funny. I wish I could record it. Oh, my goodness. But...
So did you purposely buy shoes that you knew that weren't her style, or I'm trying to figure out what...
No, I said they sent the wrong... Oh, maybe
No,
I didn't say that. They sent the wrong ones on accident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was funny because they were like like a different size too. Like nothing about it was correct. I was like, what?
Well, first when you said little boy shoes, I assumed like you meant like shoes for like 6-year-olds or something like that. Like just like his shoe, but tiny, you know?
No, they were like a 10.5, but...
Okay.
Yeah, it's still too small, but...
I got you. And also first, like when you said, so I gave him one on Father's Day, I thought like you were like, I gave him just
pair.
one. No, just like one shoe.
Oh.
Like, okay, let's do the other one.
I'm a bad storyteller.
I just take things maybe too literally. I'm like, we gave him just one?
That's hilarious. No.
Thought maybe you were like, I'm going to make you wait for the other one until next week, just so it'll, feel like you got 2 things,
That's funny. It's cool though, because we get to keep the shoes. Of course I won't, because nobody would wear them. But I'm trying to find some place to donate them to, where I can like feel peace about them not just reselling them. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I don't know. You don't want to like take them to like the Salvation Army or something?
Like I said, reselling is like it's such a big problem here, especially. And I'm like, if I'm gonna give these away for free just for someone to resell them, that kind of defeats the purpose. Oh, I got 2 down. behind. Oh, they got revived with 2 revive packs. Okay, they're coming around
Oh,
this
that
way
guy
too.
fell down in the hole. Ah!
Oh,
Bummer.
behind me. Oh no. No bueno.
I had like 3 in front of me too. So here's a really random story, right? One time, like,
Where are you guys going? Oh my gosh. I feel like nobody pays attention to the map.
so when we first started going to the church that we're going to now, like, there was a guy. It's still there, but like he's moved house. He's changed. He's like not at the same house anymore. But anyway, he used to have a house that had like a pretty nice big pool, right? And so anyway, he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna like sell my house, so I want to have like a party and invite a bunch of people from church and whatnot, you know, to use the pool one last time before I sell it, right? And have a barbecue or something like that, right?" So anyway, that's what he did. And we're like, okay, this is cool. And then, like, after we like accepted the
Join fast. Fast. Oh no. Hold on 1 second.
what are you doing?
Okay. Alright, so the guy wanted to have a last party at his house.
Alright. So yeah. So anyway, then after we like accepted the invite and everything like that, then he like when it was close to the time, he was like, "Oh, okay. And by the way, make sure like everybody like I'm trying to remember exactly how he phrased it. Like everybody needs to like wear t-shirts in the pool because we want to just make sure that we keep everything modest or something like that." Now,
Here, go red.
no, I guess I just want to get your which again my first initial reaction was like, well, that's bizarre. I've never had anybody tell me I needed to do that before, guys and girls. So now I want your initial reaction: overkill or okay?
Okay, because I prefer equality.
Uh-huh.
So, but if somebody was just like, and all you guys need to wear, I don't know, something, and then all you girls need to wear something, I think that would be a little controlling. So it's safer to just say everybody wear a t-shirt and cover up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely, he definitely sounds like he struggles with something.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that. I'd just say maybe like, you know, he's saying it was, you know, as it was a church gathering or whatever, he didn't want anybody to like, I don't know, feel weird or something. I don't know. But again, I guess I just assume that, you know, if it's a pool party, you know, like when you get in the pool, you wear a swimsuit, and when you get out of the pool, you put your clothes back on, you know, the normal clothes. You know?
Right. Yeah, I think that.
Go ahead.
I think that it's definitely not normal, but I don't have a problem with it.
All right. it's like saying it's like extra conservative, where, like, in other words, at the same time, I mean, I guess I would feel like it would be weird if, like, I mean, it's I don't know. So I feel like it would be weird then if, like, I don't think anybody would have done this, but I mean, I guess I would feel like it would be weird if, like, a bunch of people went to the pool and then after being done with the pool, like, didn't get, normal clothes back on or whatever. But I don't think anybody would have done that. I think that's pretty normal or whatever. And I don't know. It just took me off guard. It's like the first time I've ever had anybody ask me to do that, or anybody else.
Right. Ooh, ran out of skin. I don't like the whole modesty debate in the church. I think it's super toxic.
Explain.
I think that because a lot of people struggle with lust,
Mm-hmm.
they like to point the finger basically at other people to solve their issue, which is really a heart problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody is struggling with dressing immodestly, they have a heart issue too. So you can't just tell them to cover up and think it'll work. No, you really have to, like, figure out what's going on beneath the surface of things and then have that conversation. Like, personally, I find, like, from what I've heard in the church, the conversation is so focused on a woman's need to be modest when it comes to sexual immorality and men's lust issues, that it's completely discredited the fact that when you love the Lord, it naturally changes your appearance, right? You don't want to, like, start with, okay, cover up so that you can come to youth group.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that you think that there's too much of a focus on trying to, like, dress modestly in the church or in conservative churches? Or are you just saying that you need to address the root of the problem?
Sorry, that was intense. I'm saying that there's too much of a focus, yes, and they need to address the root of the problem first. Oh, they're lagging. Oh, and he's speed glitching.
Oh my word. I've got 5 deaths and no kills. Wow. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I feel like anytime that I play, like, usually, like, this bad is a time when people are cheating.
Yeah, they definitely are cheating, don't worry.
What? Oh my goodness, seriously, I cannot take these guys down. It's, like, impossible. Is there ability, like, I'm assuming there probably is, but I don't know anything about it, but, like, a way that they can, like, make it so they have, like, aim assist or something like that?
Yeah.
A cheat that just makes it so much easier to shoot you on target every time, huh?
That's modded controllers.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I say sometimes, like, every grenade they throw is hitting me on the
Yeah.
head.
Right. What?
Coming behind us.
Oh.
Homie, join no use for a name. They need help.
Yeah, I'm right here by him.
When I spawned in, I saw like 3 guys over here, so.
Yeah, what happened to
Don't
him?
know
Where'd
what
they go?
happened.
Oh, here's one. He's on the left side.
Sneaky, sneaky.
He's down
Ah!
below.
By me! In the hallway.
Oh.
Oh, he ran away. Careful, careful.
I got him. A little too late for you.
You need help?
I'm just trying to get some guys in the building, but they're kind of too far away.
Oh, there's a C4.
I'm out.
You wanna go around?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant the other way, but okay.
Whoa. Ah, come on.
No use for a name is all, I don't know. Watch out.
Up top. Oh, it's rough. That sucked. Wow.
A little rough.
So, in kind of response to what you're saying, is like I think I basically agree for the most part. You know, so in other words, like if somebody comes to church and they're just a random person, and they are dressed like semi inappropriately or whatever, you know, you can't you can't harp on that necessarily right away. You know, you need to work on, you know, getting them to, you know, accepting the Lord first, so then after that, getting into things of like those details of like modesty and whatnot. But you can't expect them to know right away, at least all the way, and at the same time, you got to work, like what you're saying, we got to work on the heart and the root of the problem first, right? Well, another thing I will say, though, I guess just in general, is that I don't think you can make like a blanket, like, oh well, if girls are wearing, clothes that are not very modest, that's not their problem, that's a guy's problem for, like looking at them with lust or whatever, or something like that. I don't think that's fair either, because I think you have to also understand that men are much more visual than women, and women may not even think about it, where men think about that and are more visual. So I think that in regards to that, there is a potential that that men and women should be both dressed modestly, but there's more of a potential that men are going to look at women who are dressed in a certain way with lust more than women, where they're not as visual as men.
I don't think men are more visual than women. I think that has been disproven in every study of the brain ever conducted. I think that men tend to struggle with lust more, is all. Not that they're more visual. They just struggle with it more for some reason. But I do think that it's on both people. Like, no, you shouldn't be dressing provocatively, and no, you shouldn't be looking at somebody lustfully. So it's like it's an equal problem, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know what studies you're talking about. I'd like to have you send me whatever study you're talking about, but again, I wouldn't agree with that. I feel like it's been proven that men are more visual, and again, I think that that's the same reason why women who are not Christians or not thinking about that sort of thing are likely to wear clothes that are going to get them attention, where men kind of just seem to wear most of the time whatever they want to wear, because a woman is more interested in like a man's personality and how he treats a woman versus like how he looks as long as he doesn't look like a slob, I guess I'll say.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that opinion.
What does that mean?
Just like it's an opinion, so I can't really argue against your opinion of thinking that men care more about the outside than women do.
So you disagree, though?
For a biological reason. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I think that it's true that men do that, but I don't think it's for a biological reason.
What do you think it is for? You think that men are more sinful than women or something?
I think it can be a lot of things, a lot of factors.
Such as? Oh. I was listening to this podcast the other day, and they were saying how that there's a big mentality now of like, thinking that, boys or men tend more to like, be restless and tend to be more like ill-behaved in schools and things like that, and that, rise to the like, phrases like boys will be boys and blah blah blah, and also boys are like much more likely to be probably just prescribed Ritalin and things of that nature, right? And so a lot of people, believe that just boys tend to be more like active and tend to be more ill-behaved, right, than girls.
Yeah.
But
I don't believe that at all. But
right, okay.
there
But
is like a
so
difference
like what I'm talking about is the podcast, and in the podcast they were talking about how they think that that's not actually true. They were talking about how like really this kind of like idea came about when the Industrial Revolution came around, and then that took fathers outside of the homes, and before the fathers were already always around, and like basically it was kind of a lot like a homesteading situation where the father and the mother and the children were all working basically together all day, doing various different tasks together, and essentially, because the father was in the home, he was there to like, keep the sons in check, right? But then when the Industrial Revolution came about, the boys just became more ill-behaved because they didn't have that father figure around constantly, and they were more willing to, like, I guess maybe challenge the mothers, or just they didn't have that father figure to look up to, that caused sometimes brought rise to this belief that boys are more ill-behaved.
Well, in all of my experience in childcare,
Mm-hmm.
both little boys and little girls can have the same likelihood of being absolutely obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And ill-behaved.
And I would agree with that overall. I think that they just struggle with different types of misbehavior, is what I think.
Yeah.
And
sure.
So in other words, like, girls are more likely to little girls are more likely to say mean things to their friend and be like, she said a mean thing to me and now I'm not a friend anymore and I hate her, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Where boys are more likely to not say as many mean things. They are more likely to be like, he said a thing I didn't like or did a thing I didn't like, and so I hit him in the face, I took his toy away and he cried and I didn't care, I think so. They just have different. So they're both ill-behaved. They just do different things, and either way, it's going to come down to like a lack of parenting, of whether that sort of behavior is tolerated and is allowed to continue. Oh!
That was too bad.
Ah! Where is it coming from? I've got it coming from both sides.
I feel like if men were allowed and were taught to be emotionally responsive, I think that it would be very similar, like the struggles of men and women. Like, I think there's a big disparity just because of how people are raised.
What do you mean by how people are raised? How does that cause a disparity?
Well, I mean, like, men are expected to be strong and manly, and like it's the focus is on the physical, while women are like taught to be nurturing, and like both are good things, but I think like we take it too far sometimes, where somebody might struggle with the idea of being emotional if they're a man, and the same thing for women. So this is such a stupid conversation to have, because I really don't have my thoughts collected on this. I'm kind of just thinking about it as I go.
Well, essentially what I'm getting is you're saying there's not as many differences between men and women biologically as people you would think. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that would be a stupid thing to say. I think that is what I was saying, but actually, I'm thinking about it. It's definitely wrong.
Well, I would agree with the second assessment then.
You're the worst. You're just letting me say things that are stupid and not correct.
No, I want to hear you hear the stupid things that come out of your mouth and then say, oh man, that was stupid.
I apologize.
I'm just kidding. But, again, this is why, it's good to, have a conversation sometimes about these things if you haven't really thought about it, and then you think about it yourself and you come to, either be more secure in your original conclusion or, you question your, initial conclusion and maybe come to a better one. Right?
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. I guess I would say I feel like the differences between men and women are quite striking, and that's why, all the more why, the pursuit of public schools to go in and make sure to talk about sex and all that different stuff at a more and more at an early age, so that they can try to brainwash little kids as soon as possible.
Good assessment. Good assessment.
That's how you do anything. You got to get them while you're young, and you got to also basically get them to unlearn what they have observed themselves, of that boys and girls are different. Oh no, they're not. They're basically exactly the same. And honestly, I feel like that's something that's interesting about little kids, is I think they are naturally somewhat very perceptive about differences in sexes, whether it be just their friends or just animals. They are naturally oh, is that a boy or is that a girl?
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh.
I don't know why it is yet, and it's again, I have no why exactly that is, but that's something little kids seem to be somewhat semi-obsessed with,
Yeah.
And I always found that interesting too, of even one of my daughters was always asking questions well, why does that boy have super long hair? I'm I don't know. I guess that's just how he likes it, I suppose. But I mean, there are some guys who have long hair. That's not really what makes you a boy or a girl, But
what do you think about the Bible saying that men shouldn't have long hair?
Well, they didn't say you shouldn't. They said it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame it's a shame to have long hair and to pray. It's basically, yeah. It's basically saying don't have long hair.
Well, yeah. Well, again, I guess I'm just saying, some people would say, oh, the Bible says it's a sin to have long hair. And I said, technically it says it's a shame. Now, going on from that.
What causes shame? Sin.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not. Maybe not, because they were shameful in the garden when they realized they were naked.
Yeah, they felt shame, but they didn't necessarily.
Yeah,
that was after the sin, but I mean, I guess it was connected to. But either way, the point is, I think, first you'd have to know exactly what is their definition of long, is like, if it touches, like, if it goes below their ears, is that long? Is it above the ears? If it like
Yes.
touches the shoulders, is that what's long? What is
I'm
what is long?
I'm pretty sure as far as like Jewish tradition goes, it is touching the ears or something like that.
Right. And then secondly, I guess some biblical scholars would definitely just say that it was a cultural thing, meaning like, so in other words, and in the same way of kind of like, I don't know, I feel like almost we had this conversation yesterday about culture, meaning like, if you say went and you were a missionary to Cambodia or something, some random place. I'm just picking a random place, okay? Right?
Okay.
And let's pretend in Cambodian culture, if you have a hair touching your shoulders or touching your ears or whatever, somewhat long, let's just say shoulders for now, okay? That means either that you're like, typically culturally that means like, either that you are homosexual or a prostitute or something like that, if you're a man, then I guess if I was a missionary to Cambodia, then I would probably be pretty careful about not having long hair, because of that culture and what they, associate that with, right? Whereas in American culture, that's not the case, where there's very, I guess, somewhat seemingly manly men who have longer hair, and it doesn't really mean anything, versus others, then maybe it's not as big of a deal. But, I guess, so in the same way of like that, I think that's what they're getting at in that Bible verses. Like in this particular culture, I think it was talking about if men shouldn't be having long hair, because I think it was maybe indicating
Feminine.
that it had, it was, they were trying to be feminine, yeah. Or again, that they could be, that there was a lot of feminine men, and also like, problems with, prostitution and so on and so forth by men in Roman culture and stuff like that too. So in other words, it wouldn't be uncalled for them to think, well, if you have long hair, maybe that's something somewhat typical of a prostitute, meaning like a male prostitute. But it also does say in the Bible that a long hair is a woman's glory too. So does that mean that women shouldn't have short hair?
You guys, oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Benjamin. Okay.
Oh, really?
Really, for real. I'm gonna get you.
This guy's getting me. There we go. Thank you. And honestly, sometimes I think about that with women who have like really short hair. Like, I would almost like say, in our culture, I feel like it'd be worse. It's almost worse for women to have really short hair than it is for a man to have long hair, because I feel like in our culture, if you have really short hair as a woman, it oftentimes means you may be a lesbian. Where if you're a man and you have long hair, it means nothing. Like, virtually nothing, at least for our culture,
Yeah, that's true. And I don't think it's the length as much as it is how you style it, maybe.
Right. And there's another, part of the Bible where it tells, I think, women not to like wear jewelry or doing certain different things, and I think that was because it was like, that's what the prostitutes were doing.
Well, yeah. Historically, that was what was going on.
Yeah.
Not to braid your hair or wear fine gold.
Right. Also, like, my mom, when we lived in certain African countries, she would not wear pants, basically, ever, because that was associated with prostitutes in their culture.
Wow.
For women. Oh! Ah! Blast it. Now this is
Oh, me right there.
this is from a more innocent time too, but like, you know, like my younger sisters when they were young, they wore like pants and shorts, but like maybe around the house, but you know, maybe I guess if we went to church, definitely not.
Wow. Oh no.
But I'm saying, I guess the point I'm making is I think it was less of an issue if you were like a little girl versus a woman.
Sure. And so do your sisters still dress like the way that they were taught to dress?
Mm. I mean, they don't, I wouldn't say that they are dressed immodest, but no, they don't like adhere to like the same, I guess, cultural like boundaries that were, you know, expected of them when living in that culture. I guess.
Okay. Gotcha. My mother-in-law doesn't wear pants. I do.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And her reasoning.
She noticed that it helps her to assume her God-given role better of being feminine and submissive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She said like basically when she wears the pants, it just changes the way she carries herself.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, try wearing a skirt and you would see the difference it makes.
I don't want to try that, nor will I.
I mean, that would be like a way stronger example, but...
Yeah. Ah! I'm down below here.
Okay.
Yes, somebody's getting me. Alright, thank you. We're at the same, I mean, I'm assuming you know who like Harry Styles is, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there are things that he wears to be purposefully to be feminine and a provocateur because he thinks that being feminine is like a way of provoking the culture.
Oh yeah, he loves what the culture calls queer baiting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny though, how a lot of the ways he dresses are ways that men have dressed in the past. But because the culture is different now, it's definitely not the same.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I'm just saying to me also like there's parts of the Bible where it says for men to not wear women's clothing, and I feel like that's what I think to me I feel like that's what he's doing, and on purpose,
yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. He's on my list of celebrities that I can't believe people think are attractive.
Or talented.
Okay, he is talented. He can sing. I'll give him that.
Yeah, maybe that. Lots of people can sing. Whether they think he makes good songs is another question.
Oh, a few of his songs I really like.
Ah!
I don't
Get down,
very
stupid.
often. But
Have you like the song? Strawberry something?
No, watermelon sugar. No.
Oh, that's what it is. It's not watermelon. No, not strawberry. Watermelon. Whatever. I knew it was a fruit
Same
something.
difference.
You know, something red. Dag.
No, but the song "Sign of the Times" I really like from like a Christian perspective.
I'm not even sure if I know that one, or if I heard it, maybe I would, but I don't know that. I don't recognize the title.
Yeah, and I don't like it because I think like you could apply it to like worship, but I think like it's.
Oh, there it is. I got last kill, I think.
Nice, good job.
So
I think
go
it's
ahead.
cool too. Oh no, I was gonna say I think it's cool to see when people are possibly acknowledging a end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
In a religious kind of connotation.
Right. Who's more annoying, Harry Styles or Nick Jonas?
Oh, Nick Jonas for sure.
Why?
I don't like his face. His face just annoys me. And I also don't like his wife. His wife is super annoying.
I don't even know who his wife is. That's like beyond me. That's too far deep into to pop culture.
No, she's like a Bollywood star. She's she's not an A-list celebrity here.
Yeah. Well, see, I would say that like Harry Styles is worse in my opinion because as far as I know, at least Nick Jonas doesn't like essentially cross-dress.
Oh, okay. If you're talking from, I thought you were talking about like personally, like who I would rather sit and talk to.
No, I guess I just mean like as a person, as like a public figure who is like more like troublesome or annoying, I guess, from a figure perspective.
They're both troubling because all of the Jonas Brothers once like claimed that they were like these devout Christians, and I think it was a weird switch up when they weren't any longer and they took off their purity rings. I remember how big that was. How's it going?
What's up?
Who's this?
This is X-File versus Failure.
How you doing? Thanks for joining.
I don't think you're in our game though, right?
Ours? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, can you invite him? Homie? Pretty good. How about yourself? Why, great. Why was it great? To die is gain, my friend. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. That's great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start. Like, maybe you have to get the next one. Otherwise, these guys are gonna get annoyed that we are not starting. Hold on 1 second.
Homie, you gotta back out this second or else the game's gonna start.
Alright, I invited you. There we go. Go red, there you go. Somebody like eating chips or something?
I'm putting parchment into a pan because I'm making brownies.
Mm. I just saw a meme that made me think of Sea Goat.
What did it say?
Oh, it just says, stop complaining about your life. It says, stop complaining about your life. There are literally people living in California.
That's funny.
Sea Goat. Poor guy. We need to pray for him more. Yeah.
True.
I accidentally found out the other day that he is the opposite of heterosexual.
The opposite. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or at least.
Is he in a relationship?
No, that's how I found out. It's like, you know, he had said something about how he just like broke up with, and I don't remember how he phrased it, but I'm just gonna say he broke up with his significant other. And I was at one point, I said, so what? I was like, he was talking about, he brought it up, you know, I didn't bring it up, you know, and so I was like, so what happened with your girlfriend? And then, you know, I was corrected.
Wow. And you Bible thumped him, right? No.
No.
Just
No.
No, you would take it like a champ.
No,
That was hilarious.
Not the time for that, you know. I just listened. Oh my goodness. Should I back out and like try to... Oh, wait, come on. Come on. Oh, yes. Finally. I don't know if this is a real sign or not, too, but like this is pretty great. It's like a marketing scheme to like confuse stupid people. It says, buy one burger for the price of two and receive a second burger absolutely free.
That's so funny. I was I was gonna go to my sister-in-law's house to help her clean, and she needed storage containers. So I was looking online at Walmart. They had like this one, and it was like one for 15 or no, it was, what was the math? Maybe it was like 1 for 8 or 1 for 9. Yeah, it was like 1 for 9. Or 6 for $75. And I was cracking up. Like, does anybody buy that and not realize that they're losing like $20?
Right. Like, seriously, that's so funny too, because like I feel like they get dumb people with that sort of like scheme all the time, where they like have like, you know, something that's like really large, and you're like, it's the bigger one, it must be the cheaper one, right? But then you always like, if you actually take the time to do the math, you're like, well, what in the world? Holy mackerel, it is a monster over here.
Oh, we're playing against Classic Pearl. Come on. And he always cheats. Classic cheats. I don't know about his friends, but...
Uh-oh. I just killed him. Oh, no.
What'd you see on your spawn-in? Ooh, no.
So,
Oh,
you remember the other day, like I said something to you about like Costco? And like, it's funny because like I think like Costco is basically like a store that scams people basically into like buying ridiculously large amounts of you know, whatever it is that's unnecessary for the average person to have that quantity.
ooh. I don't know. I've only been to Costco a few times, but I know it's like their sister store. It's not actually their sister store, but same idea. Sam's Club.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff is way cheaper. Some of it isn't. Excuse me. But yeah, for the most part.
Way cheaper than Walmart? Or way cheaper than what?
Regular grocery stores.
Well, again, I guess I would have to say, is it way cheaper than Walmart or like any other, like the cheapest grocery store that you can find in your area or whatever? Because otherwise, then they're just like, you know, basically scamming you to buy a bunch of a larger quantity. And also, like, studies have shown that, you know, if you have something like that where you have a membership, you know, you feel this need to buy more because you're like, well, I'm here and I've got a membership. I have to go to this. And not only does it encourage you to go to the store because of the membership, but it also then encourages you to buy more because you're like, I have to make sure that I'm taking advantage of this great deal. You know?
My own mind got me.
Uh-oh.
Ah, yeah.
And I'm saying all this, but I do actually now have a membership to Costco, but only because I got it for free. They're down right there. Down, down. Kill those. Oh, no. Help. Ah.
I don't have a membership to any such place. My family shares them. So.
Well, you do, but because you get like, oh no, wait, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But like I thought, yeah, you do, but you don't, but you do because somebody else gets you a card and lets you go in or whatever, or buy stuff for you or whatever. Essentially. Yeah. Well, again, like I said, I only have one because I was able to get one for free. So it's a recent development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's down back there.
He's down again, but now he's getting revived. Kill him! Ah! Wow. So ridiculous. Ooh, ooh. Come on, shoot that guy! Ah! Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm pretty sure that my wife's parents have a Costco membership. They have absolutely no kids at home, and there's only two people that live at their house, you know. And what do they need a Costco membership for? You know, why do they need to buy in bulk?
Right.
That makes no sense. Like, it makes, I get it. It kind of actually does make sense if you're like the Partridge Family or, you know, somebody who's, you know, got a million kids or whatever, you know. But if there's just like 2 of you or 3 of you even, like, that makes no sense. Here, right here. Back me up. There's 2. What? Next time what we should try to do is, like, if we get in a situation like that, you should have one person distract them while 2 other people come from behind.
Smart.
What? Seriously, what? No way, bro.
Sometimes you gotta kill yourself if there's no way out. For the good of the team. One just slid down. No, oh, she can't.
Just everybody know that's not real world advice. That's just in-game advice.
Exactly.
Right?
You get it. Watch behind.
You should go around back. Flank them.
Homie, do you see anyone?
Not yet. But they think they're all bunched up, so I'm like, it's gonna take me a while to get there. Too late, I'm already here. But it's alright. I'm gonna throw my Eldorado
He
in
sees
and I'm
me,
gonna...
he sees me. Watch out, homie,
It's okay.
there's a guy in front of us. Nice.
It's okay. Tag. Haha. Got one.
Is he down or dead?
Oh, he's dead.
Nice.
Like, that was probably that last kill was
You were the
probably
last,
him,
yeah.
but he like fell down and then he had to slide to actually die.
Gotcha. Good game. I host a lot of events, and I don't have a big family, but I eat a lot, so.
Well, I was telling somebody else the other day, you're just enjoying that, you know, metabolism that you got at your age, you know. You better watch out when you, like, a decade from now.
That's not how it works. I eat healthy. I'm gonna have a great metabolism.
All right. Well, that could be. As long as you eat healthy, I suppose. But I'm just saying. You're the one talking about always eating sweets.
Yeah, I definitely shouldn't eat dessert every day. But
Like, I'll just give you an example, but again, this you know, preface, this could have to do with it, a little bit to do with the alcohol, but like my wife's brother, right, when he was like, I don't know, probably like 21 and under, he could like eat anything he wanted to, and he was like, you know, thin as a rail. It just didn't matter. He'd eat anything, and a lot of it. and he was super skinny, like not even like a regular person, just like skinny. And now he's fat because it caught up
Yeah,
to
it definitely does catch up to you,
him.
like how you eat.
Right. But again, like I said, a small part of that also could be to do with the fact that, like, I'm sure, like, as he got older, he started drinking.
Mm.
A lot of people can gain weight pretty easily like that, at least as far as I understand it.
Well, yeah, definitely if you're drinking like things like beer and liquor,
Yeah.
because liquor hurts your metabolism, but beer is really caloric. Wine is caloric, but it has antioxidants, so it's actually kind of good for you. They went the other way. That's
Of
funny.
course they did.
There's
Oh.
somebody down in the tower behind you.
I'm coming that way, but it's probably already dead, I'm assuming.
No, he got revived.
Oh, really? There's two down here.
Yeah.
What? Oh, wow. Did not see that he had a little friend.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, no!
How many?
Two. One's down, though. It was three. Well, no, it was three. I killed one, and then it was two. But, I mean, that was after I died, you know. There could have been another one that came after that, I suppose. Tag. Right here, right here.
Where is right here? Oh, got it.
Dang
Still right
it!
there.
Yeah, there's at least two still over there. One down. And two still alive. Up top.
Got him.
I'm down. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I feel like we got interrupted the other day while you, but maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I was like, I'm trying to remember if I got the full story of why you feel like you want to like start church shopping.
It's mostly like some of the leadership not really ready to be leadership. But then my main pastor, like the actual pastor of the church, he's such a good guy, but his sermons are like a little surface level for me. It's kind of like a good starting church to learn the basics, but I do like a teaching style that is like history focused as well.
Yeah. Yep. Would you say that his preaching style is like topical, or what's the other term?
No, it's not. It's not topical. Like he will definitely draw scripture from across the Bible sometimes, but he does like go chapter by chapter, pretty much.
Gotcha. I know that's like a big, like, somewhat controversy in like style between topical and I can't remember the other word for it, but I mean basically going through the Bible more chapter by chapter, what you're talking about, but there's like a specific term, and I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I don't think that there's something necessarily wrong with learning topically, but if it's like the only way you read the Bible, I think like cherry picking definitely doesn't give you the most well-rounded understanding of the word.
Right. I think it's bad overall, probably in a way, to a certain degree, just because like I think people that will have a tendency to cherry pick, and like any verse out of context you can make it to say anything you want.
That's true too.
It's almost kind of like what we were talking about with statistics. Like statistics, if you can determine how you want to organize statistics and make them say almost anything you want to. That's the only thing I really learned from my statistics class in college. It was pretty useless otherwise.
GG.
It was a kind of a slaughter. You guys murdered them. I didn't, but you did.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'm just kind of I evened out. I didn't hurt the team, but I didn't really help the team either.
Oh, also, I forgot to say that another reason, although this is like not the biggest one. Oh, and I already told you about my family leaving the church, right?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay, my family's leaving the church. Like that's like very big on my list of why.
Oh no, wait. Actually, I guess you. Yeah. No, maybe you did. You didn't give me the story as to why, but you told me that they were leaving.
Okay. Oh well, the story as to why is my family, for at least my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they're very like they want to support a church who's more focused on mission work, like, and not like just out of country, but like even like locally.
Local.
Yeah. So the church we're at now, like they don't really have a consistent plan, like mission plan for like community outreach. They host a lot of events, like church events, but it's like not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's not the same.
It's not for outreach, you mean?
Yeah, outreach, exactly. So yeah, they really want to find a church that's more about outreach, and then there like have been things over the years that have just been, for them just piled onto it. Yeah. So that was their main reason though.
Right.
Like they have some like ideological differences. between the church teaching, like the church we go to are very like pre-trib, um, and that's something that they aren't. They're very all millennial, post-trib, if any, rapture. Yeah. And yeah, just also my mother-in-law was a Sunday school teacher for many years there, and they asked her to step down like
Oh.
2 years ago.
Yeah, why is that?
They, from my understanding, they wanted to like let somebody else have the opportunity to serve, which I don't really understand the situation if that's really the reason. But that's stupid.
Yeah, that seems bizarre.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or at least that was the excuse that they cited. Whether
Yeah.
it was
My mother-in-law is a little crazy, but she's a great person and definitely a woman of God.
a little crazy, what and how? Like, what's the little crazy part?
Um, like she's a little controlling, um, or maybe slightly like a know-it-all.
Hmm.
I don't
Has
know.
an issue with pride?
I don't know. I don't think I can diagnose like what exactly her issue is. I think it's a plethora of things. But like I said, she's still like a lovely lady and woman of God.
Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law has never done anything wrong in her entire life.
Yes.
100% for her, at least from her perspective. And like I feel like I'm a very like honest, like in your face type person. So this isn't me just like being biased, but like I think my mother-in-law has a lot of room where she could, admit that she is wrong, and does a lot of stuff that is very aggravating for a lot of people. So in other words, she has a lot of room for improvement, as we all do,
Okay.
most of us. However, now my mom, like, sees that person where she's much closer to what my mother-in-law thinks that she is. And that's like, again, I'm not like, that's what if you asked my wife, she would tell you the same thing. Like she'd agree.
Yeah. I don't know.
But she wouldn't think that, but that's the mark of a person who is actually like that anyway, right? Yeah. You know what I mean?
We're beast moding this round.
Yeah. Whoa.
I've never heard the story from anyone in its entirety as to why she was asked to step down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have no strong idea. Aw, behind me. That was the first time I died.
Bummer.
Disappointment.
Disappointment all around.
While I'm thinking of reasons, there are also some really obnoxious people in the church that I would love to get away from. There are obnoxious people everywhere, but these people I would especially love to get away from.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're trying to get away from obnoxious people, that's probably not a good reason to leave, because you're going to find those people no matter where you go.
Hey, I just said that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I agree with you. So, like, you know, if it's a, a thing where you're like, hey, I don't think I should be going to this church anymore because I have like problems with them from their doctrine or what they're teaching, then that's a very reasonable thing to consider, that option. But yeah, if it's just the people, you're gonna have bad people at every church, or annoying people, or whatever. So you asked me one time if I was like church hopping all the time. I would say no, and I would say like I went to. I've, in this country, I've only gone to 3 different churches, including the one I'm at now. And the reason we swapped from the first church to the second church was not because we had any real issue with, well, I guess not a real reason, because we had a big issue with the first church. Down below, dude. I got this guy. But it was because we decided to like go and help out another church that was like a small church. And try to...
Come on, homie, what are you doing?
Woo! Dying. So anyway, there was a small church that was like in a more like, I guess, poor neighborhood, and then had a lot of Spanish-speaking people. And like I said, my wife speaks Spanish, and so we thought it would be a good way to help with outreach over there. But then, like, we ended up leaving that church because nobody would like. Well, we were there for several years, but then nobody would like actually like. They said that they wanted to grow the church, but nobody wanted to do anything to actually grow the church.
I see.
And when you're at a church where you're trying to help them grow the church, but they just want you to do everything, like all the things, eventually that causes burnout pretty quickly.
Okay, I see.
And also like when we started helping at the church, it was like a time where we had like no kids.
Okay, yeah.
And then, when you were, doing so many different things that you were like in charge of at the smaller church, and then we ended up getting like basically going from 0 kids to like 2 kids pretty quickly because we adopted. Well, I guess technically we didn't adopt, but we took into care a foster kid, and then had a baby like a few months after that. That was a pretty big change and a lot more responsibility than we had before. So the availability became strained, and when you go to the church leadership and say, okay, well, we need some more people to step up, and nobody does anything, that's problematic. So.
Sorry you were burnt out. So this was your old church, and now the place you're at now is.
Well, I guess like to be fair, like we only went to 3 churches, but we like the way it went was like we were at the first church, then we went to the other churches was from the same denomination, but like just a different one that was a small church that again we were trying to help out, and then after repeatedly asking them to like be like, hey, we can't do this or this anymore, or we have to like scale this back, and we don't want to scale it back, but we want to just get some more people to help, and nobody helped. Then we went back to the church that we went to first. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That we came from.
I see.
Okay. And then we left that church because of feeling like that we weren't being spiritually fed at that church, and they went insane when 2020 came around.
Okay.
But then that was also, I feel like, where it was like a time of it was good in a way. It was a time of reflection of like, are we at this church because we're, actually, learning and being spiritually fed, and feeling like we're getting good biblical teaching, or are we just here because they have like, like good child care and we know people, because
Yeah,
we've
that's...
gone to...
What happened? Who? John Vaz? Yeah, yeah. This is his retirement.
Yeah, this is his retirement plan.
Yeah, I think the childcare and knowing people is a big reason as to why we're staying at the church we're at now.
Right. But like what I'm saying is that was a good, when they went kind of started to go crazy with all the like COVID stuff and like different things like that, then that helped you do like some reflection of like, are we here because it's a good church, or are we just here because it's comfortable? You know what I mean? And that's not a good reason to be at a church. Per se.
I see.
But also, I want to make it clear too that like, anytime I've ever had trouble at a church, I don't just up and leave and be like, well, they're not going to do what I like, I'm leaving. I have talked to the leadership and been like, hey, this is the issue, or this is what we're thinking, yada yada yada. And if they want to repeatedly ignore you, then I feel like I got a clear go ahead from God saying, yeah, you can go, you need to go elsewhere. So I think you should try to fight for your church, meaning like, if you feel like it's worth fighting for, meaning like, and trying to talk to explore those avenues. What? Oh.
No bueno, man. That dirty cheat. Yeah, you're right. If we did leave the church, we should probably say something to leadership about our phones. But what?
Oh no. Again, also, like, if you do and they just are like, really dismissive and are like, well, we know best about all the things, then that also give you more confirmation of like, oh, this is a good idea, we should probably definitely leave, versus like if they're like, oh, well, I'm really glad that you brought that to our attention and we really need to fix that and we need to work on this, then
One's in the middle by exile. Well, across the way.
Hopefully that will give you more clarity. Dag.
Watch out. You know. No way.
Whatever, dude. What in the world? I got revived and then the guy kicked me and I went right back down.
Oh, you
Whoa.
camper. He's standing there with a
I
rocket
feel like
launcher. Oh, he just
the
picked it up
sound
again.
effects are like off or
Careful.
something. What's that about? Oh, stairs. Oh.
Brownies are done.
I'm down. I'm dead.
Hey Google, stop timer.
Sam, where you're gonna get kicked out of this game, aren't you?
Nope, I'm back.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Seems suspicious. What?
Oh no. I hate when I cover, but accidentally double tap cover, so I uncover myself and then die. And I do that all the time.
Right. I hate when my guy randomly decides to switch over to his pistol, and I'm like, oh
Behind
no.
Behind us. Oh no. Behind us again. Oh no.
Right here, Famware. Right here.
Okay, which side? Okay.
My side. Up top. Up top. Oh, I think Matt Leo got him. Or no, maybe he didn't.
Homie, why would you go in there?
Sound crazy. Got one.
behind us.
Uh-oh.
Was there a mine in that doorway, homie? Oh, I didn't even
I
drop.
couldn't tell.
What? Step back, homie.
Step back where?
Like, I was just worried because you're pushing and we're so close.
Aha!
Who died? Exile?
Was that you?
Centerpiece or edge piece of the brownie? Did y'all hear me? Centerpiece or edge piece of the brownie? Which one's better?
Depends. I don't know. Sometimes I like edge pieces. Sometimes I like center pieces, so I can't really speak to it.
Homie, can you look for another match? Like, back out and look again?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You think those guys were cheating?
John Baz, I don't know. He didn't seem like he was cheating that time, but usually it seems like he is. They seemed like they were on the up and up. They were fine. It would be really cool to go to a church that teaches biblical cosmology. Like, that would just be really cool. I dream of that.
Biblical cosmology.
Huh? What? What'd you say?
That depends on, I guess, your definition of what you think is biblical cosmology.
What the Bible says it is.
Yeah, round.
No, it does not.
It does too.
No, it does not. It says many times that the earth is flat in various different ways.
It's not. It's a sphere.
Yes. No, it doesn't. Sit upon the circle of the earth. That's what it says. And a circle,
is
not,
a sphere.
No, that's not a sphere. A circle is a 2D object.
Yeah.
But
I don't think so.
But you know what it does say? It does say the earth is like clay under a seal. That's flat. It does say that the earth is firm and immovable on pillars that can't be shaken. That's flat. It does say in the book of Job that that God
like
made
poetry?
the sun. That book of Job that God made the sun stand still, and that would never be possible. That would never be possible on any model of the cosmos unless the earth was flat.
So you don't...
It does say... What?
Okay, so you don't think there's anything that's in the Bible that's poetic?
There's definitely poetry, but I think that it's pretty clear that some things are poetic and some are not.
So do you think that you... No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh. And if it was a matter of poetry, then why aren't there more poets talking about the Earth being a sphere? There are none.
Because it's not poetic, that's just fact.
No, poetry and similes are meant to draw parallels, not just make stuff up.
Okay, so do you think that the world is literally God's footstool? You think that he sits his feet on top of the world?
No.
That's what it says.
No, that's poetic, but the
Yeah,
footstool
why is that
thing
poetic then? And then you're going to say that it also sits on pillars. That's poetic too.
No, why would, okay, so
How is
why
that
would
different?
both of those, okay, but listen, why would both of those depict a flat Earth if it wasn't so?
Again, because it's poetry. That's what I'm saying.
But why isn't there any poetry? Okay, I told you a few references that weren't poetic, so you can address those if you want to get hooked up on the poetry thing.
Well, that's not what I'm asking about. I'm just asking if you think that God literally puts his feet on top of the world as his footstool, because it also says that in the Bible.
No, not literally, but a footstool is flat.
Wow. Yeah, and it also has pillars.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, that's where it has. So that's the part of where we're talking and where we're in poetic language.
Pillars is interchangeable with foundations. And firm and immovable, like, what's your response to that? What is your response to the earth being firm and immovable, never to be shaken?
It's. I think again, I would say that's probably something that we're referring to that's not actual physics. We're talking about something that's poetic. I guess it's the same. I would say it's the same to me of like when somebody is like, oh man, God 1,000 years is like a day, and a day is like 1,000 years. It's like it just means that he's outside of time. That doesn't mean that's literally God thinks that one day is 1,000 years. It's saying that he's outside of time.
Well, that's why it says it's light.
Yeah,
it's
right.
A comparison.
Well, I'm saying.
But it's still like a way for our minds to understand the truth.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, but then people take that out of context, and then they'll be like, see, that's how we know that,
the Earth was created in thousands of years.
Yeah, the Earth could have taken 1,000 years, or a million, or a gajillion, or a bajillion, jajillion, kakillion, a million. I'm like, no, stop being dumb. That's, poetic. That's just like, an example of saying that God is outside of time. It has nothing to do with actual time. And in the same way, I would say the majority of Genesis, if not all of Genesis, reads as history. So then that's how you know that you can take Genesis as history.
Okay, so firmament. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
We already talked about separating the waters from the waters.
Yeah, and like I said, there's like already been scientific evidence that there is water underneath, ground, just like anything else. Like I don't know why we need to have, and the waters broke forth from the deep. There are geysers underneath. There's like scientific evidence that they found recently that there's geysers underneath the water.
All right, floodgates of heaven, same thing.
I'm not sure what you're meaning by that.
It says that there are floodgates of heaven. So there's waters in the deep and there's waters in the heavens. So that doesn't really prove or
Yeah, well,
disprove
there's waters
anything.
in the heaven. That's called the sky, clouds, whatever.
I got kicked.
Uh-oh, what are you doing? Are you looking for something? Or are you messing
No,
with your
I think
bounties?
I think it was my connection, unfortunately.
Uh-oh. When are you gonna get that Ethernet?
Probably
Get your
tomorrow,
cable.
actually.
Dag. I'm doing really bad. Well, so do you think the world was created in 6 literal days?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay. Well, see, we can meet in the middle there. I agree on that one. We're together on that. I think that's also very clear from like the original text too, and like the way the Hebrews describes day in Genesis.
Oh yeah, I agree. What do you think about, like, okay, so this one is, I guess if you don't believe the earth is flat, you probably wouldn't believe this either, but do you think that in Genesis, when it says that God created two lights, being the moon and the sun, do you think they both give off light, or do you think, like, mainstream science, the moon reflects the sun's light?
No, I mean, I would think that, you know, that I believe that the moon reflects off the sunlight, but that's still a light because it's a lesser light. It doesn't matter how it's achieved.
Well, I mean, there are like there are other things biblically that would say that it gives off its own light. Like when it says the moon will, I think it says the moon will turn red in Revelation.
Here, right here. Pick me up.
Yeah.
Oh, you have blood moons all the time. Right?
And that's funny because reflection of light doesn't change color usually. But basically, no, the verse I was referring to was like, it's somewhere in Revelation, but like the moon becomes red, but like the sun also changes. I think the sun becomes black and the moon becomes red, or something like that. So.
I'm just saying, I think what you're saying doesn't make logical sense because it's contrary to everything else that we see in nature. We see, like, we see spheres and everything all the time. So in other words, in the same way, do you at least agree
What
that
spheres?
do you agree that the sun
and the
is
moon?
round?
Oh yeah, I think the sun's round, but I think that
Okay.
I
Do you
live
agree
on
that the
flat.
moon
Hear me
is
out.
round or
Hear me
not?
out. Actually, I go back and forth. I think it's circular. I don't know if it's a sphere, but it very well could be. Very well
Uh-huh.
could be. But I was gonna say,
Okay.
like, I live on flat ground, and like my house, like the floors are flat, but like my light bulbs are round. That doesn't mean I'm round, or my
No, but
house is round.
that's not something that God created. I'm saying so like
I'm
you're
just
not
saying
no
it's
no
a
you're no but
possibility.
you're not listening, like you're not hearing me. Hear me out. What I'm saying is okay. In the same way, I'm saying like you know like an evolution what? All right. Yeah, that's cool, man. See ya. So in the same way, like, you know, an evolutionist is going to say, oh, well, you know, you see, because, like, say, a mouse somewhat has, like, similar, like, semi-similar hands, or a monkey has somewhat similar hands to a human, they're going to be like, oh, see, look, that's because we all evolved from, microorganisms, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, no, I think that's silly. I disagree with that. The only thing that I think that indicates is that since you have a single creator, that was the different like similarities we see in nature are going to indicate a common designer. So in the same way, like, why would somebody design something like entirely different if it wasn't for a very specific purpose? So in the way, like, certain things, like, a duck doesn't have hands like we do because they're designed to be in the water, and they have webbed feet and yada yada yada, right? Whereas hands like ours work well for us and work well for even like things like mice and hamsters, and they're able to hold things well that way. That just says to me that that's a common designer who has created something that works for multiple things across the board, right? And so I'm saying to you, in the same way, if the sun is round, the moon is round, and if you believe that there are other planets out there that are all around, why on Earth?
I don't believe there are other planets. No.
Why on Earth would like the Earth not be round like the other things around it? Doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't believe that there are other planets.
Okay, and why not?
And because you can't see them.
They can't see them with a telescope?
No, you actually can't. No, you can't.
Why not? I think so. Everybody who's ever looked in a telescope and said, "Oh, look, see that thing that looks like a star? That's Mars."
No, no, you can't. You can't see planets unless you have like very specific, very expensive telescopes that you have to manually enter in the location that you're in, and then it gives you an image that is obviously already put in the telescope to give you. I don't think that there are other planets. No. I do believe that obviously there are stars, but I don't think that anywhere in the Bible there's a reason to believe that the planets are what they think they are. I think planets are just other stars, other balls of gas.
So if you don't believe in other planets, why do you believe in stars?
There's so many reasons why. You can see them. The Bible says that God created the stars. There's a million reasons.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people who believe that stars are actually like angels. They're all angels. But that's an interesting theory.
Okay, so what do people gain from telling people that there are other planets and that they're actually not? So are they just all lying, or they've been like? I don't understand. Like what? Why do other people think there are other planets?
I mean, for most people, it's just what you've been taught. But otherwise, it's like just deception, like a lot of things in this world, for control, for money, for power, for...
Yeah, but like I'm saying, I don't understand what somebody gains by saying, yeah, there's a other planets over there that we can't reach or whatever, and that we
can reach now.
We can't if they don't exist.
No, that's the whole lie. I think that it was a very intricate lie to make people feel some sense of security, like that there's another place that we can go, that we're not immortal, but humankind will be okay no matter what.
Well, again, I'd try to like meet you in the middle here, and I'd say I definitely believe that there are other planets, but I don't think there's any real life on other planets, because I think that, again, the planets to me would communicate a common creator, but Earth being unique because that's the one that he chose to put life on, and that there would be no reason to, say, create life on other planets.
I'm gonna leave so I can talk about this.
Why are you leaving?
Oh, because if we're gonna talk about something so interesting, I would prefer to talk about it and not only
I'm gonna die. So anyway, what I was saying is like, I would think that again, like, shows a common creator, but I think that Earth is special only because that's the planet he decided to put life on, and also I feel like that the way that it's situated in the universe is unique to create or to be able to sustain life, where I don't think there's likelihood that there's any other life on any other planet, because it doesn't make any sense that there would be, and that we are unique rather than we're like, so I'm saying, I think that's like a secularist lie, that we're just like, well, we're all animals, we're not special, even though in our culture everybody kind of keeps on trying to tell people, oh, you're so special. And like, why? I don't know. It's such a like a contradictory thing too. And it's kind of funny, and from the standpoint of like, our culture simultaneously says we're all just like another animal, but at the same time then wants everybody to be convinced that they're super special and unique, and everything about them is important for no reason. Like, so in other words, if you don't believe that God created you, why are you special? There's no reason to be special.
I agree. Yeah. It's the planet thing is it's so convoluted to explain to somebody who doesn't have any common ground as far as biblical cosmology goes. Like, we believe entirely different things, but like I'm pretty sure that planets, and even historically speaking, planets are literally wandering stars, which were like fallen angels, and like there are like Bible verses that kind of reference it, but mostly it's in the books that didn't make it into the Bible or were taken out of the Bible in like the 1600s because they weren't meant to be there. But like, I mean, most planets, historically speaking, were like for worship. People worship them.
So, but they made them up. So, like, ancient people made up the planets. Is that what your theory is?
Worship them as God. No, they worship them as gods. What we call planets today, people called gods back then. Like.
But I'm just trying to make sure I understand what you believe. So I'm saying, you're saying that other planets don't exist, except, like, you agree that the Earth is a planet, but you don't think there are any other planets besides Earth. Is that correct?
No, the Earth isn't a planet. No.
What is Earth?
It's just Earth. We're the center of the world, basically. Like a planet is a very specific scientific term. I wouldn't say the Earth is, because, like I said, I believe the Earth is flat and firm and immovable. A planet is basically something like a body that orbits. I don't think we orbit.
So where does the sun go then?
When? Like when the sun sets, or?
Yeah, like, where's it going? If it's not going around us, where's it going?
Well, even on your model, it's not going around us. We're going around it. But
well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean.
It's got a lot to do with vanishing point. So, like, if you've ever been on a street and you see street lights, and they're all the same height, right? But as they get further away, it looks like they're going downward, and eventually in the distance they just disappear. It's the same thing with the orbit of the sun. We have a local sun that that circuits around us, around the face of the Earth, basically, above us. Same thing with the moon.
So you think it goes in a circle above us?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then why is it night, like, in certain places? Shouldn't it just essentially, like, be light all the time everywhere? Except for in the center or something?
No, because it's a local sun, so it's not as big as they say it is, and it's not as far away, so it's not going to light up the entire surface of the Earth.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you held the flashlight on your phone close to your table, it would only light up the portion of the table that's under it. But if you lifted your phone higher up, it would light up the whole table. So it's like it's the same idea.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think it's not that we'll ever fully understand God here in this life, at least. But I just don't think any of it would make sense. Like, I think that God made things in a way that was both entirely an enigma, but would point to him. I don't think that the spherical Earth model points to him at all. I think that with the flat Earth, there'd have to be a creator, right? And it makes sense that the Earth is flat because that's what we see. So why would what we see be different than what the truth is?
So
like,
why do you think that like the Earth revolving around the sun, why does that not point to God?
Because there's ways that science explains it coming about without God. That's the entire reason why that model was made. It was made by people who were agnostic and atheist, and then Christians unfortunately fell into it. Most of the world believed, pretty much all of the world and every religion believed the Earth was flat for most of humanity's existence. Because that's what we see. That's what's provable. Yeah, I think that the model that is taught now is trying to disprove God. We could come around through a Big Bang. We can do all of these things without any divine creation, but it wouldn't be so if the Earth was flat.
Well, I agree that the origin, or like the origin that they try to give, which is something I think that cannot be proven by, I think so. In other words, I think even most, I don't know if they would, I guess, agree on this, but I think most rational people would agree if you really press them that they take faith to believe in. So in other words, in the beginning, I believe in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and the scientists believe in the beginning nothing created everything. So, like, there was there was nothing, and in the void, something came out of nothing and exploded, and then, that was the Big Bang, and that created everything. Like, okay, they weren't there when this ridiculous thing supposedly happened, but I wasn't there when God created the earth either. So in other words, they both take faith, right? I just happen to have a book that also says that. They don't. They just made one up.
What do you mean, a book that also says that?
I'm saying the Bible says that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Okay, so that's at least I have a book that says that they had to make one up, right? Meaning, like, in other words, I'm saying I feel like I believe that that's divinely inspired written word, right? And coming from God, right? Where at the same time, I'm saying they have to agree that they cannot prove that the Big Bang happened. They just think that's how it happened, correct?
Yeah, it's definitely a theory, just like gravity. Just
It's
like a
just
lot
like
of other
gravity.
things. No,
Yeah,
gravity
but
is
I don't.
actually a theory.
That doesn't no, but that doesn't make any sense. I think that's completely different because you cannot prove the Big Bang theory. I think you can prove what we know of gravity because if I take something and it drops, that's what gravity is, and it drops every time in the exact same way.
No, gravity is a theory, and that doesn't support gravity. That actually supports something called electromagnetism. Gravity doesn't really refer that much to a molecular and smaller level like human life. Gravity has more of a effect on things like planets, right? And their orbits. But when it comes to things within our surface, most scientists agree that it's electromagnetism that has the biggest impact. Like that's even what holds together um, atoms and such. Electromagnetism is what it is. So you couple that with density, and you couple that with buoyancy. That explains how things fall already.
And how did you come to this conclusion?
It's testable, and there has been some really great research, and I think that at least I really hate to play the conviction card, but I think I was convicted out of the grasp of science a whole lot. So, yeah.
Well, I think there's two different types of science. There's good science and there's junk science. Okay, so
Okay.
one has an ideology, and one is something that is testable. So in other words, like say,
It's not testable.
all right, are you gonna let me finish, or are you just gonna talk?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to give you my reasoning, and then you can talk to me about it afterwards. All right. So anyway, what I'm saying is I'm just saying, to me, I think that there is good science and there's bad science. There's testable science and there's junk science. So to me, I would say that something that you use the scientific method, just meaning you test it in the same conditions over and over again and you get the same results. That's something that is actual science, in the same way that if you even in the same way of 2 plus 2 always equals 4. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something you can do over and over and over again. It's never going to equal 5. Okay. All right, so that is real science, where what we're talking about with the Big Bang Theory is a belief system, is a faith. They just won't admit it. They want to call it science, but it's not. It's a faith, okay? And it's their faith that they try to mix in with science. So it's not my fault that they want to call something that is not science, science, and then but it also does not mean that there isn't things that are scientific and actual science that exist. But, the best way to cover up a lie is to mix it with a little bit of truth. Okay?
Amen. I believe that.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what I believe too. So in other words, it makes complete sense to, have a bunch of things that are true and have a bunch of people who will say, well, yeah, that's true, and this is true, and they're the scientists, they're the experts, and they all believe in, the Big Bang Theory, or they all believe that God doesn't exist, or whatever, whatever the consensus is at the time, then that's exactly why there is truth in science and there is falsehoods in science, because they're using science to deceive people in certain areas. But the best way to do that is to make sure that there is some truth in that. Okay? And you're going to see that in any other thing, in the same way, say if you have just kind of like what we were talking about, like with racism, and that people justify racism all the time by, you know, making nasty generalizations about people and then telling you everybody does that and this is why it's justified to do this other thing, you know. And even if there's, you know, so even if you're saying there's proof that one, you know, a couple people did some bad stuff in a particular, you know, group of people group, does not mean that they all did that, and does not justify then generalizing them all and saying they all need to be dealt with in such and such way, right? But that's how you know, Hitler got people to, you know, think that it was a good idea to, you know, exterminate the Jews and different things like that, yada yada yada. Okay, because you mix that a little bit of truth with a lie, and then you can get to people to do terrible things and believe terrible, egregious things and silly things. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So that's how I reconcile why there is things about science that I would consider to be true, and other things that I would consider to be not true. And there are people who are actually Christians, you know, who would believe the same thing and can do good science outside of the, you know, the dogma of, you know, Darwinism and, you know, the Big Bang Theory and all that other crap. But again, I would also believe that, you know, science to me is just something that you can use the scientific method on, and that's exactly why, you know, something like the Big Bang Theory that cannot be proven is not science. So go ahead.
Oh, I have nothing to say.
Well, I'm just saying, why do you disagree with certain things that are provable? Just you don't like the terminology that's used. So if I say, you know, I take this rock provable? And if I take this rock and I drop it, you know, 800 times, and every single time it falls to the ground, that's not proof of gravity. You want to call that electromagnetism?
Science would agree with that. Actually, you have just been brainwashed to only use the word gravity. Mm-hmm. And gravity is a theory. Science admits that. Just like science admits that evolution is a theory, but they teach it like fact.
Well, science sometimes, or I guess a lot of times the way that they explain that is they say that basically everything is a theory, and some are provable and some are not, or whatever, or something like that. But you know, and some of them would probably even think that, you know, the Big Bang Theory is provable, even though it's really not.
No, it's not provable. And why?
Well,
because
I know.
There's... Yes, but I was going to say there's something called margin of error.
Mm-hmm.
And so every test ever conducted on the cosmology that modern science claims to be the most truthful theory has come back with a margin of error of 10 to the 120th power. That's so many zeros of, like, after the 100. So many zeros. That's how wrong it is, and it can't be proven. Mm-hmm. And they do things, they're sneaky, they try to, like, deceive people. But you can always boil it back down and see that what the truth is. Like, I mean, so say something else or tell me something else that you think is fact that proves the spherical model.
Well, how about I ask you this, like, what is something that you think that people think is provable besides gravity that is, you would say is not?
Water curving around the Earth, that's not provable. You cannot factor curvature of the Earth. It's not observable. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be 8 inches per mile, per nautical mile. Mm-hmm. That's unobservable. You'll never find that. Then there are other things. This one I really like. You live in Illinois, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's let me see what skyline it is. I'm pretty sure it's in Illinois. but it's across a body of water where it should be hidden by the curvature of the Earth. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. It's Chicago skyline. It should be hidden by the curvature of the Earth, but on a clear day with low humidity, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the Earth's flat. And they claim that you can see it because of refraction or it's a mirage. But mirages are they first off they move. Second of all, they reflect in an upside down, like it's like not transverse. I can't remember what it's called, but they reflect what's beneath them in an upside down way. I don't know what the word is for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so much more. So you shouldn't be able to see the Chicago skyline from across the water, but you can. That's provable.
Well, again, this is not something I've done research into the Chicago skyline. Obviously, you have, so I'm not sure if I can speak on that. You know, nor am I, obviously a scientist.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess
at the end of
I
the
don't
day,
I just don't understand. I guess again, I think there's certain things that can be gained from certain lies. So in other words, like it makes sense to me that people, and to a certain degree, I guess it makes sense to me that people were lying about the COVID vaccine, right? It makes sense to me that they were lying about the COVID vaccine because they just wanted to push it through. They also, the people in the government wanted to look like heroes and be like, see, look how great we are. We're so fantastic. We created this thing in such minimal amount of time, and it's the best, most successful vaccine there could ever be. If there was ever a good vaccine, this is it, And getting everybody to do what they wanted to do. I think it was also a test to see how much power they could seize, under the guise of being like, well, we need to, make you do this because it's for the good of the people, and you have to do this and this, and if you don't, you're being a bad person, blah blah blah. It was all about trying to see how much they could get away with, I guess, right? And also, I think, America was making the vaccine, and then I think they were selling it to other countries. So if the more, we push the vaccine as being like the greatest thing ever, the more that they could convince other countries that they also needed to buy said vaccine from us, right? And give it to their people. It's like, oh, it's going to save everyone, right? If there was any, hint of doubt that this vaccine, wasn't effective or wasn't doing what they were saying it was doing, then they can't profit off of it, right? Big Pharma can't profit off of it by selling it to the U.S. government, and the U.S. government can't profit off of it by getting Big Pharma to help them sell it to other countries, right? So I see a clear reasoning as to why they were lying about it, right? And what they stood to gain, from it. Do you know what I mean?
From lying about a spherical Earth.
No, we're talking about the COVID vaccine for right now. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I
No,
thought you were trying to draw a parallel. Okay.
No, I'm going to, but not yet. Okay. But the point is I see I can see a very easily see a reason as to why they were lying about the COVID vaccine and shutting people down who had questions about it and being like, are you sure about that? And I don't know about all that, They shut it all down because of all those reasons, right? And so that's what they stood to gain from doing, all those things by, shutting down questions and blah, 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 was they stood to gain money and power, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, I don't understand what anyone who is like, say, let's not worry about the, the people who are the reprehensible people who are these, atheists or whatever else, but say somebody who is a Christian and somebody who is in the scientific field and says, yes, all the evidence I agree with that, the Earth is
Okay.
round, and this is why.
So
What does that guy have to gain from that?
okay, so we have to look at it from, okay, let's take away our biases. There
Hmm?
are Christian scientists who support flat Earth. There are Christian scientists who support a spherical Earth
Who
model.
who supports flat Earth? That's a Christian scientist that is like in the public, and like publicly supports that.
Why? What do you mean publicly? Like that
Yeah, it says
you could
I'm a
find their
Christian
articles?
and I write scientific journals, and this is why, or whatever. I'm in science, whatever it is, and I am a known person who says that yes, the Earth is flat.
Known like a bunch of like a Ken Ham, but for flat Earth people?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
what are you saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to prove or disprove because
I
they're
didn't say it
just
was, but
because
who supports it? Just who?
I could send you a bunch of people, like a whole bunch of people. You can
that
even
are
join this
that are
Facebook.
scientists that are doing scientific work in the
Yeah,
scientific field.
yeah, yep,
Okay.
yeah. But okay, so like I just wanted to say that there are
Mhm.
scientists that support both.
Mhm.
So what would one gain apart from like just believing it wholeheartedly? Nothing.
Mhm.
This isn't about the Christian. This is about the deception. I think that there are a lot of Christians that are deceived. Now, we would both say that, right? Because you think I'm deceived, I think you're deceived. It's a pointing fingers game. But let's talk about the real issue, not about Christians, about like atheists and agnostic people and people of different religions. Why would they gain something? So, number one, with the Big Bang, we're a random cosmic accident. We have no purpose inherently. There's nothing to serve because we came from nothing and will
Yeah, but
return
that
to
no,
nothing.
I agree with that. I'm saying, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about flat Earth versus that's the origin of the Earth.
What do you mean?
I said you're talking now about the Earth's origin, not whether it's flat or round.
Oh, okay. I'm going to continue.
Okay.
So like I said before, the flat Earth would only exist with a divine creation story. If you find out that space isn't real and you're enclosed within God's firmament, that completely changes everything that you understand about life in general, because that is proven in God's word, number one, and is proven by things we see.
So do you also believe that, it doesn't, I guess it doesn't make sense to me either from the standpoint of like, it says that there's corners of the earth then. So then do you
But
believe
there's
that
there
the world isn't actually like flat and in a
no,
circle shape? You believe it's in a square then?
no, it's a circle, and there are corners of a circle. It's called quadrants. You can because it's a 2D image, you can split it into four pieces. Like if you take a pizza and
Yeah.
split it into four slices, that's four corners.
Yeah, but no, that's not a corner then. That's just like in that specific area. So why wouldn't it say a quadrant?
So you think corner has to be pointed?
I mean, I guess if they're going to be that specific, like where you're saying, oh, like spherical is, you could not be could not, mean circle. Why is it that, when they say specifically corner, that it wouldn't be specifically corner?
It makes sense both ways, so that one doesn't really help you. Like it makes sense for it to just be poetic with like no meaning at all, but it also makes sense to be poetic with a physical meaning.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have brownies with my husband. So
Okay.
I, I don't know if it put you in a game, but I had been sitting in the search.
Yeah, it just kept on searching for me. I don't know what is going on.
It was a good opportunity to talk about flat Earth. Thanks.
Yeah, right. There you go.
But I digress. It doesn't really matter because
You're
we have
breaking up.
faith in Jesus. Hello?
Oh, I think I can hear you now.
Yeah, it doesn't entirely matter for us because we have Jesus, although the truth always matters. This is like something so little in comparison to what we already know and believe. So,
Well, again,
it's a fun
I
conversation.
yeah, no, that's true. I just I just don't see the evidence for the Bible saying that what you think it says, I guess. And I'm saying that majority of other people, even who thinks that things that are countercultural, I don't think the majority of them think that either. So in other words, in the same way, like Ken Ham and other people like that who think that, dinosaurs existed at the same time as humans because they say, look, it's clear from the Bible that these were created in days, it's
Deceived.
6 days, and that these would have been these creatures would have been side by side with everybody else, including man, you know. So there's people out, a lot of mainstream Christian people out there that believe. You still there? That believe.
Yeah, I'm here.
That believe things that are countercultural, but not that.
Yeah, yeah, they are definitely a little bit countercultural. I mean, and even to be Christian is countercultural, but I think that a lot of people have the tendency to mix a little lie into the truth on accident. It's hard when there's so many lies out there.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm saying I think majority of people, even when you're saying like, oh, there was a lot of people who believed that the Earth was flat, I think a lot of those people weren't Christians at the times that you're thinking it was more common for their culture. It was, the people who were
No,
counter.
I said all religions. Pretty much every ancient religion operated on that assumption.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, you grab whatever reference you want if
Like,
you want to.
what is your reasoning for believing that?
Every ancient manuscript and every ancient depiction of the earth, they're all similar. They're all flat.
Hmm. And those are from Christians?
Yeah, Christians too. Most Bibles had like depictions in them, and one of them would always be flat Earth in
Mm-hmm.
Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of words changed over time with translation, and I think like looking to the root of words helps a lot. Like I know a lot of people like to say that homosexuality isn't specifically referenced in the Bible because oh, homosexual wasn't a word back then. But like if you go to the root of words, you can always find out exactly what they're talking about. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
true with a lot of the flat earth stuff too. The root words always referenced
Mm-hmm.
flat earth. Like rakia. It's a good one. And I think it's funny how they're so slick today with with Latin and Greek and Hebrew and all of the languages that they make names for to insert the truth into things. I'll have to send you like a little, I don't know, like a little video or something. I'll have to find something. But the meaning of NASA, the meaning of planet, the meaning of like if you look at the roots of these words, it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like even oh, this one's kind of cheeky and fun, but also really scary because it's like for the kids. But I don't know if you know the channel Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
It's like they had SpongeBob. Like Nickelodeon, if you like Nickelodeon literally means we reject God.
Mm.
So when they say Nick, 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 the Nick, 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 Nickelodeon, they're literally having kids sing along saying we reject God. It's everywhere.
Hmm.
So yeah, you can find a lot of truth even in the names.
Right.
NASA means to deceive.
In what language?
Latin.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go, and we can always talk more later on because I'm always willing to, hear all sides. I guess.
Yeah.
One question I will ask you though is, in closing, is that would there be any evidence though that you would be willing to consider that would change your mind, or is there nothing that you could that you would cause you to change your opinion?
Um, I don't know. I really feel like the Bible is pretty clear about it. You don't think so, but
Hmm.
I think that because of like now reading it from the lens where I'm at, there's probably I don't know. If they took me out and somehow they were able to calculate curvature of the earth and it was provable and they could test it time and time again, then yeah, I'd probably believe it then.
Hmm.
Anyhow, have a good night.
All right. Sounds good. Talk to you later.